Hey, what's up? John Sonmez here from simpleprogrammer.com. And today, what kind of video shall we do? Let's see here. How about a book review? So I've got a couple of books that I've finished up. It's been a while actually since I had finished some books, because I was reading a couple of books simultaneously. I normally don't do that. Let me get the book up here that I read. And this book, I just want to make sure I get the title correctly, is sort of an old book. It's actually a collection of sayings. The book is one that I've been wanting to read for a while. It's called The Art of Worldly Wisdom, and that's by Balthasar Gracian, or Gracian, however you pronounce that. You can check out that book. And this is actually a really, really interesting book. It's probably a book that I'm going to reread several times. It's one of those books that I made a lot of highlights in, although it's such a fucking bitch to try to highlight things on a Kindle. Man, it's easy on the phone, but on the Kindle, it just drives me nuts. I don't know. And there's no real good way to get your notes and stuff. Like, I really wish that the note-taking part of it would be improved a lot. There's a lot of room for growth there. So, but about the book. Okay, so the book itself, again, this is a lot of sayings by what's his name? Balthasar Gracian, right? Gracian. And he was a very, very wise person, sort of philosopher. Reminds me a lot of the Stoic principles and philosophies. In fact, I would venture to bet, I haven't looked this up yet, but I'm going to look this up. I actually got to look his history up. I haven't actually researched him that much. I probably will, because I want to see more stuff that he's written. Very, very interesting guy, very wise. But I suspect that Mr. Robert Greene, who wrote The 48 Laws of Power, which is also an excellent book I'd highly recommend, I suspect that a lot of the 48 laws that he probably got them from Balthasar Gracian, because a lot of them are very, very similar. And obviously, Balthasar Gracian, I'm going to have to keep on saying his name now, aren't I? Yeah, someone will correct me and tell me exactly how it's supposed to be pronounced. I don't really care. But a lot of what he says, and he came first, is recognizable in 48 Laws of Power, just because these are very wise things. So this is one of those books, the English on it, because it's a translation, I believe it was it French that was originally written in? It might have been, I can't remember now. But anyway, it was translated to English, and it was translated by someone who is obviously a scholar and not from this century. So the language, I had to look up a lot of words. So it's actually a pretty good book for increasing your vocabulary. But the language is difficult. It's not a book that you can speed read. You have to go slowly through it, process it, and get the thoughts on it. This is one of those books that I would think about possibly doing a YouTube series, right? I've talked about, I may start a channel here on going through and doing a commentary on Seneca's letters to Lucius, because I feel like that'd be great, just a channel. I would love to do that. It would be fun. And those, again, it's one of those things that you may read it and you may not understand it if you don't pay very careful attention. So to be able to simplify and explain that, I thought about the same thing for this book, because there's some pearls of wisdom in there that really, really, really good stuff. A lot of stuff I highlighted. You'll probably see a lot of YouTube videos where I'm straight out, to be honest with you, taking a highlighted passage that I got from that book, and I'm making a video on that concept, because there's a lot to unpack. I could make a whole 1,000 videos based on that one book, really, I would suspect, or the same thing with Seneca. So I highly recommend it. Again, very difficult reading. If English is not your first language, you're going to struggle with this, I promise you. But you can use the Kindle and look up the dictionary words and try to parse and grok the sentence. Definitely, you want to have your focus when you're reading this. This would not work with an audiobook. I don't think there is an audio version of it. Fairly cheap book to buy, but you're going to get a lot out of this. Just a lot of rules of human nature, a lot of very wise things, observations. And one of the things that I like about this kind of ancient wisdom, especially the Stoic wisdom, is that a lot of it is like they're fundamental truths in human character and reality, and they're not really politically correct, okay? And So today, people don't say this stuff. You don't hear this stuff. So you kind of have to go back there and you have to look at these things because so many people are afraid to talk about this stuff. The only place that, well, I won't say the only place, but one of the only places that you're going to get this kind of stuff in the modern day is channels like mine, where people are not afraid to say it, where they're like, fuck it, we're just going to call a spade, and if that pisses off some people and offends some people and people think you're sexist or bigots or whatever, fuck it, I don't care, we're just going to do it. So it's critical to get that kind of knowledge. I think it's very lacking today. So anyway, let's throw up the book here one more time. Is The Art of Worldly Wisdom. Again, it's a compilation of Balthasar Gracian's writings. It's in public domain, I'm pretty sure, but this is like a compiled version of it and translated. So I highly recommend you checking it out. Also, if you would like to get all of my book reviews, I do, like I said, 2 to 3 books a week is probably about my average. I think last year I read 72 books. I did a lot of book reviews. Check out the playlist here, always. And if you haven't subscribed already, I don't know what is wrong with you. Come on, click that subscribe button. And if you really want to be just like a super subscriber, just get every single video because you're just friggin' pumped. You want to just hit it, and when you see it, click that bell. All right, I'll talk to you next time, and take care.